There's this place called Swanson Field. I haven't been out there in forever. The time I went there to shoot this footage, the footage you're seeing right now, this is the first time I've gone out there in years. But I've probably driven past the place 1,000 times. People say that the place is haunted. Personally, I don't believe in ghosts, but it's got enough folks spooked to catch my attention. There's none of the regular sorts of paranormal activities or places mulling about. No old Victorian houses with dark paint jobs, no abandoned tuberculosis hospitals or mental asylums. It's just a field. The only reason I even know about the place is because we used to go there out on Halloween. It's funny that I'm only remembering it now as I'm saying this out loud, but all the kids at school would spend the day before Halloween. They used to call it Mischief Day, making masks and getting ready for the walk through Swanson Field. We didn't go trick-or-treating at people's doors. We would all go out, either with our moms or dads, or sometimes both, and we'd walk through the field. It was a big deal that our parents didn't look down at the kids. They never looked us in the eyes while we walked across the field. I remember looking over at the other kids' parents and seeing how they pestered their moms and dads, each and every one of them, and it must sound strange to you to hear this out loud right now, but back then it was just normal to us. We were just kids. Our parents brought us out there from school until after it got dark on Halloween night. Other than that one night, Halloween night, like I said, kids were never allowed to go out on Swanson Field. There was another thing too. You weren't allowed to take off your mask until the grown-ups said you could. We actually spent a lot of time in school making them, and the teacher always made sure that they had this weird sort of diamond, star figure on them, right on the forehead. It always ruined my masks. I spent a lot of time on mine, and I always thought that it made it look lame. More like something you'd, get at a town fair or some cheap shop. There was always these other people who moved out in the woods, away from the field. They were people, but they never looked like people. They didn't move like grown-ups did either. They moved like deer. They sort of swooped up and down, fluid, like in the way they ducked between the shadows and the trees, but they walked on two legs. They had great costumes, Funny thing, now that I think about it, I can never remember how all that Halloween stuff actually ended. I bet I just fell asleep and my mom and dad had to carry me back to the car. And then nobody would ever bring up Swanson Field. Grown-ups would actually get mad if you talked about the ghosts of kids standing out in the grass. And hell, I can't even remember a kid getting sent to the principal's office just for drawing that weird little thing that they put in everybody's masks. I remember even then thinking that how stupid that was. If they hated the thing so much, then why did they make us wear it? And then, every year, without fail, our teachers would tell us a story about the field a couple of days before Christmas. Whenever the sun would set really, really, really early in the day, the teacher would tell us a weird old story about how the people could hear children's voices out there. I don't know why they did this. I'm sure none of the other schools in the other towns did it. Thinking back now, I spent half the time thinking about just watching the clock and waiting to see when I'd get back on the bus. Probably more focused on how there was going to be no homework because we were so close to the end of the break. The teacher would always say that Swanson Field was a special place, but that you should never go there alone. And now, I've never really thought about how strange it is that they'd wait until some day in the winter to bring it up again. And I can still remember getting onto the bus and forgetting the whole thing and getting back home just thinking about what I wanted for Christmas. And this is the first time that I've been back on Swanson Field ever since. I don't hear anything. Do you?